Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Alexandra Park Community Center and to Atkinson Co-op, one of my very favorite places in this city. And this is going to be one of my most favorite days, is that we have this special announcement today. And I am so happy and so excited to have all of you here to share this with me. And so, with no further ado, I would like to call on our MPP, Mr. Han Dong, to come and say a few words.
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you, Han.
Thank you, Donna, for that kind introduction. Good morning, everyone. It's definitely a very exciting day. I love this community. I've been coming here quite often. Thank you for your invitation. Compared to some of the long-time advocates for this community, Alexandra Park, I'm a newbie to this business, but I quickly got in my role. With that, I want to recognize someone who's been a strong advocate for Alexandra Park, both at the city level and now at the federal level. My good colleague Adam Vaughn is here. Good morning, Adam. And I'm particularly excited because on top of what the province has announced and it is doing, including the free tuition piece, we're going to see free farmer care in the 25. Today's announcement is very specific and particularly address the needs of this community. And I am very proud that our government is looking into these very vulnerable communities and community in great needs and to provide a specific solution to it. My office, my staff, some of them are here, has joined the community for meetings in search of first identifying the challenge and searching for the right solution. So I'm very pleased to introduce a good friend of mine, a good colleague of mine. We've fought in the trenches back in 11 years ago together for youth and vulnerable community, and someone that I look up to in the legislature, my good friend, the Honorable Michael Koto, Minister for Children, Youth Services, and Anti-Racism.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Han Dong. I just want to say, I want to take a moment to thank you personally for the work you're doing in the community, but also thank you for the support you've given to the Black Youth Action Plan from its early days. I know that you've had many conversations with me on how we can better support young people from the African Canadian community, and specifically in Toronto and in your riding. So thank you so much for being here. I also want to thank Adam Vaughn, the Member of Parliament from this area, for being here, who's very supportive of this initiative. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'd like to thank Donna Harrow from Alexandria Park Community Center for being here today and for welcoming us. We have a long history from my days at the Toronto District School Board. I know that she's been a strong advocate for youth in the City of Toronto for decades. So thank you for having us here today. I also want to recognize Nia Singh and David Simmons, who are joining us here today. They are two members. Guys, you just want to put up your hands a bit. They are two members from our Black Youth Action Plan Advisory Committee who have been working tirelessly for months on getting us to this point. We have 25 individuals who are providing advice to this government in regards to moving this plan forward. I want to say thank you for taking time from your busy schedule to be here and to support the community. I know that we have the Black Community Advisory Council from Peel, the United Way, Big Brothers Big Sisters, Sam from 180 Change, Dwayne from the NIA Center. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for partnering with us to make this happen. I'm excited to be here today to announce Together We Can, a youth mentorship program under the Black Youth Action Plan that is designed to empower and support Black youth here in Ontario. Early this year, I had the honor to introduce our 3-year strategic plan to combat systemic racism here in the province of Ontario. In addition to that, we put forward a Black Youth Action Plan. And this plan is the first of its kind. It's a $47 million investment over the next 4 years, and it's part of a larger strategy as a government that we've put forward to support youth under our youth strategy. This $47 million investment is the largest single investment in the history of this province that is specifically designed to work with Black families and communities here in Ontario to ensure that there's a continued success and a bright future for all young people here in the province. I know this is the first of its kind in Ontario and the first of its kind in this country. This plan will support Black children, youth, and their families by providing more opportunities where they live. Through Together We Can, up to 21 mentorship programs across the province will receive funding to deliver mentorship programs in communities like this. This is a $9 million investment for mentorship programs out of the $47 million. And we know that mentorship programs are key to success. These programs will provide children and youth the opportunity to connect with mentors, to build their confidence, and develop their skills in different areas such as school, work, and in their communities. And we know that the best research out there says that if young people have someone that they can connect to, someone they can talk to, someone they can go to when they need advice, it provides them with more chances of success later in life. But we also know it's a great way to connect adults back to youth, because there are a lot of adults out there. And when we went across the province and we spoke to people about this plan, and a lot of people out there said that they wanted to get involved, and we think it's necessary to build that glue that connects older Ontarians who are mentors back to youth in order to provide that guidance. And it ends up allowing our mentors to be better people as well, because they learn a lot from the young people they're helping. The African Canadian Coalition of Community Organizations is one of the first organizations that has been selected for this program. The ACCCO is connecting young people in this community with mentorships to develop skills in areas such as communication, conflict management, and leadership training. The application process for Together We Can mentorship program is now open, and I know the applications are in the back here, so please pick one up. I encourage organizations in the areas that serve Black youth to really consider applying for this initiative, and take part in our upcoming co-design sessions this summer to learn a lot more about this program. Information on the dates and the upcoming co-design sessions can be found on our ministry website. And I also want to invite all the young people in the audience and any of the young people across this province to work with us, because we're going to design a look and feel for this new program, and we'll open up a contest to get young people engaged and let us know what mentorship means to you and what your expectations are. I've been across the province over the last year as the minister responsible for Children and Youth Services and the minister responsible for anti-racism, and the message is clear. Communities want stable funding, they want consistency, they don't want a government that is going to react every single time something goes wrong in the community, but a government that can take a step back, work with the community, and look for long-term goals. The Black Youth Action Plan is, again, a $47 million commitment over 4 years to invest into our communities so we can start to build the groundwork for long-term success and stability of organizations that are here helping our young people. So I just want to say thank you to all the young people here today. I want to say thank you to the leaders from organizations that are joining us. I want to thank Han Dong for inviting us into his community. And I want to just wish everyone good luck in the application process and congratulate the 4 successful early applicants who will be offering mentorship programs I hope, for years to come. So thank you very much on behalf of the Premier of Ontario, Kathleen Wynne, and the Government of Ontario. It is a pleasure to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michael. Thank you for leading a ministry that listens to our community. Thank you for working with our community to make things better for high-risk youth. And I won't speak for young people, but I would like to introduce you all to Sam Igano, who is the executive director and the founder of 180 Change Street, who will tell you some more about his program and what he's doing with our young people in this neighborhood. Sam?
Yes, thank you very much. I'd like to say, yes, thank you very much. First off, it's been over 10 years. It was 10 years ago that I was in prison, facing 15 years and staring into the eyes of many young black faces that surrounded me. As the days, months, and seasons passed by, we learned the multitude of reasons that got us there and what we planned to do upon our release. Some of those individuals received life sentences and were not as fortunate. The overwhelming consensus was that life as we knew it was over. However, there was something in me that felt different. Something in me that said I can sit down and give up on life, or I can step up and create the change I want to see. Something that said, despite any label placed upon me, that above all, I was and am a Canadian. This meant that when the contemplation of 180 Change Street was considered impossible, I reminded myself of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms that guaranteed us both political and civil rights, regardless of our circumstances. A charter that says every individual is equal before and under the law to exercise their right to life, liberty, and security of their person in this country. What this means is that no Canadian dream can get cut short unless you, as a Canadian, decide not to exercise your free will. With that said, if there's a will, there's a way. And here we are in 2017 with Honorable Michael Couto and the Ministry of Children and Youth Services making the Black Youth Action Plan mentorship announcement. Your will has got us to this point, and it is your will that will decide if the torch goes out or if it ignites the flame across the nation. This mentorship plan is a chance for us to light the flames in hearts and minds of young Black Canadians, an opportunity to create the change we want to see for future generations to come. For the past 8 years, I've dedicated my life to mentoring youth, my life, changing lives and establishing new positive outcomes for the streets. This particular outcome is amazing for the streets because now we're able to employ other individuals like myself who often have difficulty obtaining gainful employment. We also are able to now increase our reach from a local one to a provincial and a national one. This past week, I truly learned that when you touch someone's life, it's a domino effect that touches others. Rory Hahn was the very first youth I mentored in 180 Change Street. He was 18 years old, 275 pounds, and on some potentially serious charges. I felt as if I had gone through it so he didn't have to, and taught him the valuable lessons I had learned in Disneyland. By doing this, he realized he was cool already and could bypass that chapter. He went on to lose 75 pounds, graduate high school, but then he kept going. He went on to York University to study business, got his A&Z driver's license to make some money trucking. Last week, Monday, I went to the gym and ran into another youth I mentored. He told me Rory passed away from a sudden brain aneurysm last week. I went to my Facebook account to see the message requesting I come to the hospital, but I was too late. What I also noticed was the amount of love pouring in and the many comments expressing the positive ways in which he touched their lives. In this moment of confusion, I was at peace, for I knew the torch was still burning. We all have to go one day, but the question is how? Rory may not be with us anymore, but his legacy remains etched in our hearts, and the many youth you mentored, and as it will be in the many youth you mentor to come. If it means going through all the pain that I've been through to save one life, trust me, it was all worth it. Rest in peace, Rory. I would like to send a big thank you to Donna Harold for your dedication, your support. I'd like to thank the ACCO. I'd like to thank Michael Couto, the Ministry of Children's Services, and not but not least, for you for making this all possible. Just know it's all the way real. If failure to plan, just know planning. If the failure to plan is planning to fail, then I must say, I look forward to the Black Youth Action Plan. Why? 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 That's right, thank you very much. But, one moment, this would never have been all possible, and this Youth Action Plan, if it wasn't for people who are amazing, like Nia Singh, who've done a lot of amazing work to make this happen. I don't want to even mention any more information about you, because I haven't seen you do anything, and I know I'm not allowed to do any carding. So I'll let you say it yourself.
Thank you, Sam. Very powerful and very relevant to what's going on today. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Minister, for making this all possible. Han Dong, Adam Vaughn. The importance of mentorship you've probably just seen before your eyes. When a man like Sam gets up and speaks, the youth in this room listen. And when they listen, they identify. And they see there's an example and a way forward other than what they've been taught through media, through education, and through negative systemic racism. These type of issues we have been fighting as a community for centuries, and in Canada particularly for decades. And the fact that the Ontario government has now specifically understood and acknowledged that systemic racism affects the African Canadian community in a specific way has allowed us to present things like this mentorship program, Together We Can, in order to make a difference. My role in this is part of the External Implementation Steering Committee, ESIC, and it has been very impactful on ensuring that the government programs that are rolled out are very cognizant of African Canadian identity issues and basically conundrums that we have in the community. That group is filled with over 20 professionals. They're volunteers, they're academics, and they're community members. But what's most important is they're people who have lived through systemic racism, yet have still made it to a position of respect and honor where the community looks up to them. Our ability to influence how the government rolls out this program is unprecedented. Usually in the past, there would be maybe one or two people from a community that may provide some input, but is generally seen as a rubber stamp. I thank you, Minister, because this time around, you have serious people around the table who have actually contributed, and I think in the future will continue to contribute to the rest of the action plan. We've done community engagement sessions where we've connected with youth, and what we find is there is so much to say and so much to do. When you have a mentor, you not only have another family member, but you have an example in front of you. And I think what we're finding in the community today, why there's so much violence as we see it, lack of graduating high school, is because our young people do not have peers that are being successful, at least on a large scale. They're surrounded in an environment where a certain way of lifestyle has been perpetuated. With this mentorship program, these young people will have a chance to be around people who are forward-thinking, who are caring, who are loving, and who will be there for the community. On behalf of the steering committee, I want to say that we are looking forward to seeing this program roll out. We are actually excited that members of the community, a broad section, can apply, and I really echo the minister's statement as asking people to look at this application process. It's a very, very acceptable one, and we are very much looking forward to seeing the outcomes and the positive effects on the African Canadian community and larger society as a whole. Because together we can, but what affects one community will affect all. It's a collective impact model that we stand by, but it's the truth and reality. We do not want to see one community falling below the others. We have to do our best to have everyone working together. So together we can, and thank you for being here, and thank you again, Minister, and the Government of Ontario.
Thank you again, everyone, for coming. This concludes our little session, and maybe you can have a few refreshments after this. But thank you ever so much for coming to share this with us.